Good morning. This is Cesar, a martial artist, photographer, and a dad. Just want to say thank you and a special honor. On today, we have a special guest, Sensei Tracey Radley, second degree black belt, KUROTEN Karate Club. I have a chance to had a few minutes of training with her with Sensei Limulan before. So I'm so proud and thankful that she has given us the time. Good morning, Sensei Tracey.
Good morning, Cesar. How are you doing?
I'm very fine, thank you. Thank you. It's an
Good,
honor. It's an
good.
honor
No
being
worries
here.
at all. So I run my own karate school. We're KUROTEN Pratical Karate, and we teach students from the age of 4 years all the way up to adults. I have infant, junior, and teens and adult classes. We're based in Wivenhoe, which is in Colchester in Essex.
Sensei, can you give us a brief style of your style of martial arts? It's
Okay,
more
so
focus on.
I teach practical karate. I've trained in various styles of karate over the years. I would say that I teach my kata and train my kata in this very similar way that Wado would practice them, because that's where my roots are. But with practical karate, I look for things that work, and very old school karate, so back from years ago before the styles were formed. I very much follow along the similar lines that Ian Abernethy teaches. He's a great role model for me. I watch and train with him and follow what he does, and have gone along similar lines.
I know, I understand, Sensei. We were also fortunate. We had a chance twice. We had a seminar with Sensei Ian. I think the second one was with Sensei Lee area. That's the second time we met you. Sensei, I know we all have our own special influence or inspiration. Can you kindly give us a history of your influence in martial arts? Why you took martial arts as a sport?
Okay, so my dad used to train in karate years ago until I was very small. My mum trained as well. My mum trained for a few years. So my dad taught me some karate when I was a child. Did a little bit and taught me a little bit of self-defense as well. And then when I got to 16 and I had a part-time job and my own money, I decided, yes, I want to go and train in karate. So I had to look local because I couldn't drive at the time. So I ended up joining a club that they called themselves freestyle karate, and they were basically a mix of Wado and kickboxing. So it was very sport orientated. So I did that, very much influenced from what I'd learned as a child. Loved it. Trained for about 7 years in that. I think I got to third kyu. And then after that, I was much older then, moved out, got my own house, wasn't close to that club anymore. So then I took Wado, and I wore a white belt for a year in their club, and then was assessed, and I think they assessed me as a purple belt.
Wow.
And I trained with them. I think I trained with them for about 13 years. I was teaching in the first club. I started teaching in the Wado club as well, and I got my first dan with them. And then I decided that actually I loved what I did, but I really wanted to look at more practical elements of it. I'd done competition, I'd been there and done that, and now I wanted something different. And I looked around for practical karate. I'd seen Ian Abernethy on YouTube and internet. I had trained with him once as well, been to a seminar, one of his early ones. And then I joined Kiri Pratical Karate and loved that. And then it's kind of gone on from there, really.
So, just out of you said your influence your mom and dad, maybe same as me too. Because my dad did karate though, my mom did aikido, so there you go.
Okay.
70s times. And you also mentioned that these are your influence, your parents. So, and you mentioned that you've been to the tournament already, so you enjoyed it and experienced it. Based on your own observation as your history of martial arts, like I asked for other interview, enjoying the tournament and being outside, being confident that you are safe, not really to literally fight everybody, but did martial arts or karate itself taught you to be a bit more safer in your environment, especially as a woman?
Okay, so I would say karate and martial arts very often traditionally teach you consensual fighting. So they teach you how to fight if someone's willing to fight with you, and you learn lots of flashy kicks and things like that, which is very different to self-defense and self-protection. Now, over the last few years, I'm really interested in self-protection and self-defense. So I've been researching a lot of that and done a lot more seminars and learning more about the soft skills. So soft skills are learning about your awareness, so self-awareness and environmental awareness, situational awareness, all of those things that you put in, and how to de-escalate situations. Those skills are so important, and I actually now teach those to my students as well, so that you learn how to read a situation before you get to the physical element. So if you can read that situation and you have those skills to read it, hopefully you would never, no one would get close enough to you to actually physically attack you. I mean, you can never say never, and obviously we do the physical side of things. And I also teach the consensual side of fighting with the karate, but I also teach some physical, more self-protection style fighting, which you don't have to think about. It's not complicated, and you can teach people very, very simply. So now, when I'm thinking about self-defense and self-protection, I'm thinking more about those skills than I am my sort of traditional karate skills. And that's the kind of, it's a really strong interest of mine. It's something I've been looking into a lot more over the last couple of years.
Oh, that's quite true, Sensei. A lot don't understand that, especially new students. They would think they entered a martial arts school to fight and defend. They don't understand the way that before everything else, you have to assess. It's quite true, Sensei. Talking about your teaching, obviously, you've been as a student in the past and went through different styles. What made you think it's time for me to do my own? Or what convinced you or realized that I think it's time for me to share my knowledge?
Okay. So I've been teaching for other instructors for years. I loved teaching, and I'd always wanted to have my own martial arts school. It wasn't actually something I was planning to do for another year or 2 years, but during lockdown, I lost my photography business. I was self-employed and was running photography business whilst looking after.
You do photography? I didn't know that, Sensei.
No, there we go. So yeah, I was a photographer. I had my own. It was only a small part-time business. Whilst obviously I have 2 small children as well, so I looked after them and done the photography. But during lockdown, I couldn't earn anything. I was self-employed, so I had a massive decision to make. What do I do? Do I continue and earn no money for a year, or do I do something else? And I decided to take the jump and decided that this is something I've always wanted to do. And I could still teach karate on Zoom but I can't take photographs of people without actually being with them. So I thought, you know what, let's try. So in the middle of lockdown, I decided to start a martial arts club, which is challenging. But I thought, let's give it everything. And we opened last September, and I think we had 6 weeks in the dojo before we went to Zoom. And then we came out and they had 3 weeks in the dojo and went back to Zoom for months. And then we opened back up in April for the children. And then it was a bit later for the adults. And only in July the 19th, that was the first time that my students had ever done contact. So they had been training with me all of that time, but they'd stuck with me. I'd lost very few students. Once they start, they thankfully, touch wood, they all stay. So yeah, I just took that decision, and it has been brilliant, and it has grown. I started off with 3 classes a week. And
so your images is really good.
It's growing, and it's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, thank you, Sensei, for that. With regards to that you had so many histories of different style of martial arts. I always ask this question. I know you've done it already, and you tried to halfway tell it to us, but your impression about cross training. I know you're with Sensei Ian Abernethy, which he loves doing it. But on your own opinion, should you always stick to your own style, or it's a growth for you to do cross training?
Okay, in my opinion, I think cross training is really important. I love cross training. I don't believe that one martial art can teach you everything. So I started with a club which was, as I said, mixture of kickboxing and Wadaroo, then Wadaroo, then Practical. I also trained during this time for 2 years in a Shotokan club. I've also done quite a bit of training with Jamie Clubb, who teaches Muay Thai, kickboxing, things like that. And I've also dabbled and been to seminars and things with other martial arts styles. So to me, it's something really important. I love doing it. I also love putting a white belt on and going into a completely different style and learning. It's brilliant. It's not, I think that's something also for me as an instructor that is really important to do, to actually go in as a beginner somewhere, because it also, as a teacher, it makes you a better teacher, because it also makes you remember what it's like to be a beginner and be overloaded with all of those things.
That's quite really good.
And I'm
a humbling experience at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant, and you can just learn so much, and then you can adapt. You can put the things that you've learned into what you already teach and already know. So yeah, I personally really value cross training.
That's great, Sensei. Karate's just been introduced. This is a very hot topic nowadays. I know you watched and heard about it, about the debates and everything. In my own personal opinion, I saw that karate really is not for sports as they understand. Most people thought, but because of what happened to the one got knocked out and got the gold. Yeah. So on your own personal opinion, again, as an instructor and history of learning so many years, do you think karate should be understand deeper than what people thought? Unlike taekwondo, you kick and punch with the headgear and everything, and there's points. A lot of people thought karate would be like that in the Olympics. So when something goes like that, they don't understand that we do sparring and we hit and they end up, we get knocked out if something goes wrong. Actually, as my personal observation, it's more of a human error that he got knocked out. So what's your opinion about it, Sensei? Yeah, just your own personal opinion.
Okay, my opinion is there are different forms of practicing karate. There are competition styles of kumite, and there's a place for that. There's people that want to do that, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with if that's what you want to do. Personally, I've done that, and I've decided that's not for me. If you want to do it, it's great. Brilliant. And in my club, I don't teach competition karate, but if I had some students that said to me, I'd really like to learn it, I'd be like, yeah, no problem. We'll set up a separate training session. We'll have like a squad training session, and I will teach you how to do that sort of ippon point sparring and everything. There's a place for that, and within the Olympics, they were abiding by those rules. It's not what I teach. It's not what I practice. What I teach, we teach grappling and groundwork and throws and things, and full all-in sparring, which is different, and there's nothing wrong with either. It just is a personal preference to what you would like to do.
That's quite true, because nowadays people thought we don't control of what happened, and why? So I've read a lot in comments saying, you just need to be knocked out in karate, you get the gold medal. And people don't really understand how different karate is to other martial arts. This is quite how things work. Anyway, thank you, Sensei. I know you have loads of things to do, and thank you for your time again. I want you to have a chance to promote your school again. Give me your time.
Thank you, Caesar. Thank you for asking me onto your show to be interviewed. That's brilliant. As I said before, I have KUROTEN Pratical Karate. We teach students from age 4 to adult, and we have separate age classes, and we are based in Wivenhoe, which is near Colchester in Essex.
Thank you. Sensei, before we go, last one, I forgot. Yeah. So, would you really advise to parents, especially kids or young ladies, to learn nowadays, especially the crimes happening around? Would you really best advise to learn martial arts, especially for the women, as your experience?
So my opinion is that karate can benefit, all martial arts can benefit everybody. It can teach you self-confidence, self-esteem. It can make you physically strong, mentally strong. So all of those things would really, really help you with self-defense and self-protection and holding yourself correctly and being, strong enough to stand up for yourself. I think if you actually want to learn specific skills for self-protection and self-defense, then you need to look for a martial arts school that teaches those and is age applicable. So for my youngest, my infants who are 4 to 7, for their self-protection and self-defense, the biggest fear for a child of that age, they're not out on their own, would be what if they get lost? So for me, for their first belt, they have to learn lots of karate things, but they also have to know their home address and they have to know a parent's phone number, because those self-protection skills are really good for that age group. My juniors, we talk more about bullying and things like that.
Wow,
and then once
nice.
Teens and adults class, then we start to cover, because from the age of 12, 13, children are out there on the bus, they're with adults. So then you have to start teaching them those skills and how to read situations and be aware of what level of awareness they need to have. So we target those things. So I think if you want a school you want to learn those self-protection, self-defense things, look for a school that teaches that. If you just want to build up your physical fitness and your mental strength and your self-confidence and self-esteem, martial arts will just do that anyway. So it kind of depends what you want, really. That's my opinion.
That's quite good, Sensei. Actually, I learned from that. They don't teach that at the dojo on the young kids. The first, the address, your home address, your parents. That's quite a good thing to add to martial arts, to be honest. It's quite really good. It's quite good. No, to be honest, because when I was young, just a short story, when I was young, I got lost. My school bus forgot me. So literally I had to run it only takes about 30 minutes of drive, but I literally had to run from the dark. I just waited for buses light, then I followed the light because it was really dark. They forgot. I don't know why, but they forgot.
Oh, you must have been so scared.
I was crying, and the only thing my dad taught me and my mom taught me was find a police officer for help. Ever since I was young, they would keep telling me that find a police officer for help. So now it's quite good, isn't it? It's like you're in school.
Yeah, I think it's we reenact. So I do make my children in the class laugh. So we reenact. So in the infant class, I'll pretend to be a child who is lost in a supermarket. And I'm saying, I'm lost, I can't find my mum, what shall I do? And we talk about that situation, and we talk about, because there aren't police officers walking around supermarkets. So what do we do? And do we start running around? Oh no, mum can't find you because you're running. Stay still. Okay, mum still hasn't come. Now what do we do? And people who help us. And then we go, we're lost on the beach. Oh, there's no people at checkouts. What do we do if we're lost on the beach? And we literally break it down like that so that they've got lots of different options.
No, this is
even how to make
a unique style. This is a unique style. First time. Oh no, honestly, to be honest, isn't it, Sensei? Never did.
I know others. I've been inspired by other instructors. Mary Stevens is a great one. She teaches along similar lines. Absolutely brilliant. She's another inspiration of mine.
Quite good, isn't it?
Yeah,
I thought that was. Yeah, that's really nice. Again, thank you, Sensei, for a great time. Thank you for your time, and I would love to say thank you. And hopefully, in the future, when things are better for me and everywhere, I could go back and visit your school now, and we could train with you and my daughter, and bring my other kid, my special kid. So hopefully it will be again. Thank you, Sensei. Thank you very much for your time. And so grateful and honor, and hope to see you soon in the future. Train with Ian Abenreti, with everybody again. Okay, any more you want to say? Any seminar that you're going to do in the future, coming months?
I haven't as yet. I'm hoping perhaps next year to host some bigger seminars with the whole COVID situation, and my students are so new and only just learning contact. We're sort of starting to say, I tell you what we are doing. We have a promotional event in our local town in Winnipeg, 11th of September. So we will be there with a stall and running free competitions and on a kids karate display, which will be
that'd be great.
Nice way to promote ourselves.
Thank you very much, Sensei, and have a great morning. And thank you
Thank
for your lovely family for giving me time to interview you and your lovely dog. I'm pretty sure he wants to go inside now.
I think so.
Thank you very much, Sensei. Have a good morning. See you
Thank you,
then.
Caesar.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye.
This is Caesar, a martial artist, photographer, and a dad. Us.